Ben McDaniel, a scuba diver, went missing from an underwater cave. Part 1. August 18, 2010, 30-year-old scuba diver, Ben McDaniel, was last seen diving in the underwater cave at Vortex Springs, Versus, in Ponce de Leon, Florida. 2 days later, when Ben's truck was discovered in the dive site's parking lot unmoved, the police were called and recovery divers gathered. Despite nearly non-stop dives by more than 16 volunteer-renowned recovery divers, no trace of Ben was ever found. Ben was last seen near the locked gate that bars uncertified divers from entering the most dangerous parts of the underwater cave. Two Versus employees enjoying a recreational dive after their shifts noticed Ben trying to access the cave by tampering with the gate. Ben did not have the required scuba certifications to rent the key from the dive shop that unlocked the gate. The employees had suspected Ben of breaking into the cave prior to the 18th, but decided it would be safer to let Ben in and give him more airtime to explore, rather than risking him drowning if he got stuck trying to force his way through the gate. 2 days later, the employee that opened the gate for Ben noticed that his truck was still in the same parking spot. Fearing Ben had an accident underwater and drowned, the employee called the police. Experienced recovery divers were rounded up and began searching every nook and cranny in the dangerously tight restrictions of the cave, risking their own lives to retrieve Ben's body for his grieving family. When the divers couldn't locate the body, divers began searching for any signs that Ben was ever even in the depths of the cave at all. As the underwater searches came up empty, the volunteer divers explained to Ben's family that it would be suicide for them to search any further into the cave. The tube-shaped cave reduces to a restriction barely more than a crack only 8 to 10 inches tall. If Ben tried to squeeze any further into the cave, he would not have been able to get back out. Attempting to search any further would mean certain death for the recovery divers. Determined to find their son, Shelby and Patti McDaniel, asked law enforcement, to borrow their remotely operated vehicle, agreeing to pay its $54,000 price tag should it become lost in the cave. They tried to offer money to the divers to keep searching, but all the volunteer recovery divers declined because not only was it incredibly dangerous, but there was just not anywhere in the cave left to look. Ben's parents then put out a $30,000 reward for anyone brave enough to search the deepest depths of Versus, offending many of the recovery divers who not only were volunteers paying their own expenses out of pocket, but they had already risked their lives searching for their son. One of the world's most experienced cave-rescue-recovery divers was able to squeeze 20 feet further into the tight confines of the back of the cave than anyone had before, including the first diver who surveyed and mapped the cave in 2003. The frustrated diver said that there was no way a man the size of Ben could go any further. It's just not possible due to the spatial constraints of the cave, not for the lack of skill, bravery, or determination. When the underwater searches halted, theories and rumors then began popping up that maybe Ben wasn't never even in the cave. Maybe he's not even dead. Welcome to the first installment of a comprehensive multi-part series about the disappearance of Ben McDaniel. Today, August 20, 2018, is the 8th year anniversary since Ben was reported missing. What can seem like simple death by misadventure on the surface, this case goes much deeper into a complicated rabbit hole of bizarre and contradictory evidence lending to several theories as to what happened to Ben. This series is a long one, but hopefully it will provide some great discussions along the way. The most popular and plausible theories: Ben accidentally drowned, potentially panicking, while exploring the furthest reaches of the cave, and his body and gear are wedged in some crevice or buried in sand, where it remains hidden. Ben committed suicide by purposefully squeezing into a tight space that search divers cannot go, knowing he would not be able to get back out. Ben faked his own death by making it appear like he drowned in the cave, but had actually exited the water safely, leaving his old troubled life behind. Ben fell victim to some sort of foul play during or after his dive, and his body was hidden, either inside or outside of the cave for nefarious reasons.